What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça boy 103. Just finished watching the match and Barcelona beats Vissel Kobe 3-1 to start off their pre-season Asia tour, of course, starting off in the country of Japan. Overall, I think a pretty decent 90 minutes. We, of course, saw a total of 24 different players, 11 in the first half and then 13 in the second half. It was, I think, overall a very solid display from Barcelona. Let's talk about each half in full. We'll talk about, of course, the goals and everything like that. The first half team, of course, was Joel Garcia in goal, a back four of Eric Garcia, Pau Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, Alejandro Balde, midfield three, Pedri, Gavi, Fermin Lopez, front three of Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Rafinha. I thought this team played pretty well in the first half. Just final third action was a bit rusty. Lamine was taking on players too many times and sometimes beating them, sometimes not. But I really want to talk about that midfield. That midfield, Pedri, Gavi, Fermin, was absolutely out of this world, and mainly I want to really hone in on that double pivot. That double pivot was sublime. I think Gavi looked absolutely remarkable. I think Pedri looked magical and sensational. I think Fermin has some great hard work and some great runs in behind. I think Balde had a really good game as well. I think Eric, of course, getting that goal that came from the corner kick, handball, bouncing around. He kicked it, hit the player's back and went in. We'll take it, but he also had that decent chance in the first few minutes as well. Inigo, I thought was really solid. Joel Garcia made that really good save before Vissel Kobe scored that 1v1, that point blank. That's a fantastic save. I think Cubarsí had a great tackle in the first half as well to prevent Vissel Kobe from scoring, but of course made the mistake for us conceding, and he did that about 2 times in that first half as well, where he takes too much time on the ball and gets pickpocketed. So he needs to, of course, not take too much time on the ball to make a decision maybe a bit quicker. Again, he is young, but he did make these mistakes last season, so he really needs to hone in and to show up those mistakes to prevent them from happening again. Of course, Lamine was great as well. Would have loved to have seen him beat his man more than he did. Rafinha looked good as well, had that great shot before halftime. Ferran Torres looked, I wouldn't say sloppy, but wasn't really involved too much, and when he was, it was a little bit rusty. His touches were really heavy. His ball control was a bit sloppy as well. But once he got that kind of shirt in and focused in, he looked okay. The second half lineup was Szczesny in goal, back four of Jules Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, Jeffrey Torrens, midfield three of Marc Casado, Frankie de Jong, Dani Olmo, front three of Rooney Bargi, Lewandowski, and Marcus Rashford off the left. Of course, the 2 goals coming in firstly from Rooney Bargi after a counter-attack by Barcelona. Lewandowski with a little bit of hold-up play, sprays it out wide. Great one-time shot by Rooney Bargi and scores. Second goal was actually scored by Dur Fernandez. Of course, Dur Fernandez and Gerard Martin both came in for Jeffrey Torres and Rashford, replacing the left wing and the left back halfway through the second half. Great pass in by Koné into the middle, very reminiscent of his assist for Rafinha's header in the 5-2 Super El Clasico final earlier this year. Olmo couldn't control it. I think the defender cleared it, dropped right to Dur Fernandez, hits it on the volley, and scores a remarkable finish. And he had some good moments in the game as well. We'll talk about the players individually now. Szczesny, I don't even think barely touched the ball apart from passing out from the back. Koundé looked strong. Araujo, he was attempting some good passes in between the spaces, in between the lines, and was being successful. I liked it. Christensen, I think, again, just a complete player. He was absolutely remarkable. Jeffrey Torrens looked really good as well. Looked a bit conservative. It is his debut, of course, so I'm not going to be too crazy with that, but I think with a bit more freedom, with a bit more comfortability, he can look even better than he did today. Casado, bit rough, but I think had a good game. I mean, rough in the challenges and in his play, tactical fouls here and there. Lost the ball quite a bit, but knows how to deal with those kind of situations. Frankie de Jong looked great as well. His composure is elite. Dani Olmo. This is why I don't understand when people say Rafinha should play the 10, play Rash on the left hand side. Look at Dani Olmo today, exploring the spaces, finding the pockets. His dribbling, his turn, his reading of the game is absolutely 100% pinpoint perfection. It is so rare to find a 10 like him. This is why all the top clubs in Europe wanted him, and this is why he's one of the best 10s in the world. Remarkable talent. Rooney Bargi looked really strong as well. Once he got the goal, I think he was way more comfortable. Before that, he looked a bit nervous. Rashford as well, some great touches and great movement, but finishing execution wasn't there. Same thing pretty much for Lewandowski as well. I don't think Lewandowski had really a shot that wasn't that wasn't on target per se. A lot of his shots were mainly blocked by the first or second Vissel Kobe defender. Gerard Martin wasn't really noticeable, to be honest. Dor Fernandez looked really good, especially that turn he had right when he came in on that left-hand side. Really composed on the ball, tight dribbler as well, which you'd like to see. I really liked the game today. Apart from the second half, the first 20 minutes of the second half was quite boring. The team looked a bit conservative, weren't really progressing forward. I don't know if Flick said something or what, but shout out to Flick as well, managed the team very well. We got to see a lot of players. I think the only players that didn't play were Diego Cochin, Inaki Pena, Hector Fort, and the Fernandez cousins, Tony and Gilly. Managed the game really well. Flick, he looked very animated on the touchline, making instructions, telling players what to do. Was a bit disappointed when things weren't going our way as well. Sloppy pass, sloppy decision making here and there. He looked frustrated on the flip side as well. The happiest he probably was is when Dor scored the goal to make it 3-1. He looked like he was on cloud 9, seeing his own son scoring for Barcelona, which of course you do absolutely love to see. I think the main takeaway and the main point from this game, in my opinion per se, is our ball fluidity, our ball control, our press and composure, specifically in that midfield. I am starting to think that Gavi could be a starter in this team. He was that good in that first half where I'm thinking you have to shoehorn him into this team, but how is going to be hard. But I thought he was remarkable in that first half. And you can see that's the kind of play that we missed a little bit last season in, controlling games, stuff like that. He was of course fit, but nowhere near comfortable and 1000% fit and 1000% up the match speed and rhythm as he was today. Another big highlight for me was the performance of Rooney Bargi. I thought he looked really strong. Your touchline winger, basically a budget version of a Luis Diaz, but on the right wing. That's how he looked. Pretty much, and getting him for about 2 million, hopefully him being in and around the first team once shit gets real into the actual start of the season. That's gonna be a big feat to have. Who else played well? Again, like I already glazed, Danny Olmo I thought was absolutely remarkable. I think Christensen was so solid as well. I think Araujo's passing looked impressive. Hopefully again we're not jumping the boat in conclusion. Again, with preseason, you can only judge what's in front of you. Of course, results don't matter. We can lose, maybe not 10-0. We could lose like 3-0. No one would really care. I wouldn't care at all. That's not the point of what we're playing at. Whole point here is getting up to match fitness, match sharpness, and getting the feel and the rhythm of the game back again. I think this is a perfect game for that. And shout out to Vissel Kobe. I thought they played pretty well. I think their press was very strong. They made it very difficult for Barcelona to find space, occupy the pockets, get chances in behind. So they actually had, I think, a really good game, even though they lost 3-1. The goal they scored was quite the finish from that player was quite remarkable. But shout out to them. They played really well. They're a really well organized team. They pressed, and their defensive transitions were really strong, especially for us having this being our first game of the year. They didn't make it easy whatsoever. So shout out to them for that. But I think the overall consensus is that it was a good performance. We saw some great things that have been the same from last season. Maybe the one worrying part I would say is on the high line. Yes, in the preseason they're not gonna flag it, I know that, but defensively it still looks about the same as it did last season. I really want Flick to focus on honing in on those long ball vulnerabilities, the cut lane passes in behind as well, and how to control the line as well, when to push up, when to drop back. These are things that I think need to be improved from last season, where we were of course conceding a lot of goals near the tail end of the season. 7 against Inter, what was it, 6 against Madrid in the space of 2 games, 3 against Celta at home, conceding 3 against Villarreal as well. So we've been conceding a lot of goals in the last 2 months of last season, and that starts with shoring up, fixing up, and analyzing the improvements in the defense. Looks about the same, so hopefully we will see it a bit better against maybe Dragul, Sol, maybe even the João Gamper against Como. But overall, very satisfied with the performance. Great to see the players again get that Barcelona feeling back, even though that first 20 minutes of the second half was really dead. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the performance, what players stood out to you, what your thoughts on maybe the style of play, the pressing, the overall intensity of the match. Any player that you think could maybe be knocking on the door for starting positions, like what I mentioned, for example. I think Gavi might be with this kind of performance, of course, if he keeps on building and improving from it. I think for me, again, probably the 2 players that impressed me the most or a few pillars. I would say it was Rooney, Bargy, Gavi, and Danny Olmo would be my top three. Of course, I think probably Pedri was probably the best player in this game, which is quite obvious. I think Eric Garcia played really well in that first half as well. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Yeah.